Hello on this good morning.
Morning.
Some of you might need override.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems override engaged.
Fleet command coming in. Capture the target area and engage any hostiles.
Can't head for the pea stain anymore. You have to head for the jello stain.
Well, it's either that or somebody ate too much asparagus.
Asparagus. Oh, you're peeing on Ever Simpson.
I tried that experiment once to see if it actually works. It does make your pee a little bit green.
Target spotted.
But you gotta eat like 3 pounds of asparagus.
Oh God, that'd give you the shits, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was coming out of both ends.
Oh my. Oh.
Too much fun.
The image, I am tainted now for life.
And then I've done my work.
Target
spotted.
acquired.
Target spotted.
Man, I really want to buy a stone rhino now that they came out with that new Gauss.
Yeah, but that's only on canvas.
Oh, God.
Fuck. Oh. Is it only on canvas?
New target
Target
acquired.
spotted.
New target
Target
acquired.
spotted.
Everybody throw up the UAV guy.
Target spotted. Target spotted.
Oh, Piper trying to sneak around down from front. So down to two.
UAV activated.
Came from the weather. Ah!
Yeah, lots of twist and shout.
Target spotted.
Warning incoming missile.
Hit him. I'm already bored, so I'm gonna hang out.
Chased by a warhammer. Dack and dack it.
New target acquired.
Enemy UAV above Echo 4.
Delta, he's in the back. He's all alone.
Well,
So lonely.
somebody give
I'm
him
gonna
some
keep
company.
I'm going. I'm getting. He's got.
Warning, incoming missile. Warning, incoming missile.
I'm not gonna lie.
I got put on a shirt.
They're pushing middle.
Can I get like one of you guys off the shelf up there to help us? Mobile, please, maybe.
Well, time for me to show you the build. This is not bad. This is very viable. I just got a little crazy charging those two guys. Or charging that one guy, which turned into two guys. They kind of morphed. I think they kind of were like breeding or something. Some sort of breeding thing. They're both innersphere mechs, so it's possible. Yeah, so this is my Banshee, what I call Satan's Helper. And usually it does pretty well. I don't think I've ever done above 700 on damage on this. But you know, it's good support mech. I wouldn't call it a main frontline mech, unless you really want to make it hot as hell. So I went with a light engine and 2 binaries, and I fire them simultaneously. I got away with the standard heat sinks because they're a little bit better as far as weight or space goes. This is not an Indo, so it's just standard structuring, and but this stuff takes up quite a bit of space. So I went the 2 binaries, the standards here, and I don't even know how many I have. 6, 7, 9, 10 tons of single heat sinks. But if you look, it's 1.29, and I'm maxing close out to my maximum out for tonnage. And then I went with 3 LBX 2s and 3 tons of ammo to go with it. I wish I could have gotten with AMS, but you know, space is space. And I wouldn't have been able to do this build with a standard engine. I probably could have done something pretty cool, but it would have been really hot. I talked to a guy who did the same thing. He did 2 binaries, and then he did 3 rack 5s, but he said that he got so hot all the time. And yeah, it is a trade-off because you want to keep the heat at a minimum. So maybe 3 LBX 5s would have been better, but you know, you're not going to be doing the amount of damage, but it's great for close quarters. And these are really kind of just to punish people at a distance, because I mean, look at this distance. Maximum range is 2430. That's across the battlefield. Optimum range is 810. And you know, this thing really works out. Some of the things you get out of this mech for special quirks: ballistic cooldown -5, PPC velocity. Obviously, we're not using that. Energy heat -5, ballistic velocity +5, and obviously we're not using the PPC. And as standard on innersphere mechs, you get just hooked up on armor. This is why people argue that innersphere mechs are better than clan mechs, is because they have just so much more armor, and it's true. It's so true. So yeah, then when we go to the skill tree, maxed out on heat control, velocity. Obviously, I've got the ballistics covered. I'm not too worried about the laser duration because I would rather spend those skills on other things like full survivability. And I got speed. I mean, this is not a fast mech. 54 skilled. So that's like, what, 48 unskilled or something, or 46? Yeah. So heat survivability here, gotta have it. And as you can see, I really didn't get beyond too hot. I got hot one time, and that was when I was going after those 2 guys and trying to escape before they put me on a shirt, which I eventually got on the shirt anyways, but it's what it is. sensor range and deprivation. That's a plus. And then got to be able to see at a distance. It's great for those binaries, by the way, and the LBX. So basically, the way this is set out, this is more of a little bit of a medium to high range build, and I could have gone a different way, but I think this is the way I would go. There's another option that I'm considering with this one, and it's this. Let's see here. Yeah, here is a medium excellent build. And this says that it's 0.95 on the heat, but here's the thing. Even if you cycle these ones, which basically looks like you have a constant stream of laser going down range, and they're doing damage, this produces so little heat that at 0, it's like 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2 and a half, 0.2 and a half, 0.2 and a half, 0.3, 0.3, 0.3. It's so small on the heat scale. And then these are obviously going to be doing the majority of the heat, which still isn't bad. So this is something else I consider, and I have a few other builds that I've had over the years. This was an interesting one. 3 ER large lasers, flamer, and then an AC-20. And this actually does really well. I think my best match was in this guy here, the way this is set up. This is one I considered, but I don't think I ever ran. 3 large lasers and a rack 5. Honestly, I thought it was too hot. 0.15. The speed was really good, but that was about the only thing that was really great about this kind of a build. And this one was a staple for a while. Once again, it's pretty much the same thing. Rotary A5 and ER large lasers with a flamer and AMS and stuff. And then it also had a Beagle on board. And this is the one I pretty much run most of the time. As long as I don't come up against a stalker, I do pretty well with this one. You know, you put Kodiaks on a shirt easily with this. But going back to the current build, this one, I actually have 2 variants of this, and I tried it with double heat sinks, and then I tried it with the single heat sinks, and the standard heat sinks do way better. I think that with the double heat sinks, you max out at like 1.6 or something versus 1.29. This is an obvious choice, and the only difference between the two is the double heat sinks and the standard heat sinks. So it's a no-brainer. Hope to see you on the battlefield.